Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your monthly scopes. Please keep in mind this is only a general reading. Take what it feels right and with what resonates with your own life experiences at the moment. So, Sagittarius, there's a theme coming up in your cards this month that really talk about the importance of letting go of control, letting go of repression, letting go of unhealthy attachments, letting go of addictions, letting go of the feeling that you need to control everything, because the more you put yourself in that vibration of desperation and control, the more you will feel and you will see that life takes away from you things that are not essential. There's a calling that really can be evident for you this month about what is really essential in your life and where are you going to find the resources to sustain a healthy life, where you're projecting your security issues outwards when you should be looking inwards, and the conditionings that you still have inside of you that maybe make you feel that you need money or you need a, status or a success, a certain type of success, a certain type of people, a certain type of relationship, a certain type of image to achieve that security. When you're projecting security outside, that creates a big insecurity because you are not looking at the right place to find security. Security comes from within. Security comes from the acknowledgement that you are secure whatever you are in the middle of chaos, because you are deeply in touch with who you are, what is your identity, what is your expression, where your heart lies, why is your mind guiding you into the acknowledgement of something, not through others' external validations. And that can be really evident for you, especially in the beginning of the month. You have the conditioning card. So obviously, there's always two ways, in my opinion, this can play out. If you are consciously aware of what I'm talking about here, or if you're not. What I mean is, if you understand what I'm talking about when I talk about conditioning, when I talk about security within, when I talk soul, my language is a soul language. So if you're not in tune with what the soul means to you, if you lost your feeling of connection and you only look for answers in the way of external resolutions, you may not resonate with the way I get through these messages. But either way, conditioning can begin either you starting the month of July, acknowledging all the conditionings that you still have inside of you, all the traps, all the unhealthy attachments, all the overly controlled, ambitious, capital, material way of handling your life, or through you feeling trapped, you feeling like you are chained to the devil, chained to your instincts, chained to your primordial instincts, sexual, masculine, obsessive, controlling. So the problem with the devil, or what the devil really wants to bring forward, in my opinion, is the idea that we are early wired to believe that our instincts are are something to be tamed, are something to be controlled. So we enter this state of denial all of our lives, mostly of the time. That's why we have so many sexual problems and dysfunctions, because there's a guilt still associated in a really unconscious way, but there's a deep sense of guilt about your primordial instincts like survival, sexuality, emotional expression. There's a lot of blockages, conditionings from society itself, from our parents, from everywhere, that begins with the sense of that our instincts must be controlled. What, in my opinion, this creates is a big conditioning in that sense of instincts. So we begin believing that our instincts are wrong and we need to control them. And the way to control them is to project them outside in order to get what we wanted in the first place. So if we were really sexual curious when we were young, and that didn't play out in a healthy way because our parents told us that that was wrong or that was shameful, we tame the beast, we tame the instinct. But then later we will attract situations in our lives where that will be um, a reflection of that repressed instinct. So we will probably enter relationships with a lot of sexual issues surrounding the theme, until we begin to realize that those sexual issues are inside of us to be released, to be free, so we can have a healthy way of handling uh, our innate power. So, but anyway, this can play out in many ways, because what we have most until this moment in the world is conditionings. We are conditioned by everything and everywhere, social judgments, social racism. There's conditionings everywhere. We are conditioned to live a life like they were talking about here in the card picture. We are conditioned to live apparently a life of shapes following the same direction. And maybe something happens where you begin to realize that you're not a ship, you're a lion. You have a heart, you have feelings, you have emotions, you have desires, you have instincts, and there's a proper way to handle them and to deal with them, which is to start seeing things in a different perception and in a different perspective, where you don't need to follow what's conventional, you don't need to follow what's traditional if that's not what really you are about and you want. There's an awakening happening in some sense that you can take advantage of or not. It only depends on your level of awareness of what I'm saying here. But you can begin the month either realizing that you still have a lot of conditionings operating inside of yourself and in your life, or you can begin feeling really trapped, really conditioned, really enslaved by your own desires and perceptions and attachments and addictions and whatever it is that you feel bound to change. The the only thing keeping you from unconditioning, from um, letting go of this specific conditioning that may be coming up in the month of July for you to handle, is nothingness. So the fear of flying is nothingness. You're afraid to uncondition yourself. You are afraid to let go. You are afraid to let go in the direction of freedom, of these patterns following you from a long time, because you're afraid that there will be a never-ending dark night for you. So you're afraid of not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. You're acknowledging that if you go in the direction of unburdening yourself from what it's not healthy to you, you will, and you start expressing much more vibrantly and honestly your desires and your instincts. You're afraid that you'll go into a direction that has nothing waiting for you, that has a lot of um, a lot of where you have a lot of hard time finding potential, finding other people that understand you, finding yourself. So you're afraid that because it's hard. Let's face it, we are very conditioned, and to even begin to actualize this awareness, it's hard and it's painful and it's every day and it's part of the process, because It's an unknown territory. It's far, far, far from our comfort zone. So of course, this creates many feelings of anxiety, of not knowing what lies ahead, or of being alone, or having not having anything waiting for us. But there's another way of seeing this vacuum, of seeing this dark night, is the nothing, the nothingness gives us an opportunity of infinite potential, because in the nothingness you can create anything and everything. And also this card talks about the conformity. So the thing obviously keeping you from seeing your attachments, your unhealthy attachments to something, and going within to look for that lion, and looking within to see where your instincts are repressed and creating that attachment, is your conformity, is the stubborn way of looking at your life, the stubborn fixed way of seeing how, of having a justified explanation to not take responsibility for your own issues to handle. Because Sagittarius are amazing. They are the star of the dawn. They are beautiful light creatures. But they have, initially in the lower vibration of Sagittarius, they have a problem. They have this memory of Scorpio that came before them, of the deepness, darkest waters of emotions. So they tend to always look for the positive, and look for the happiness, and look for the joy. And that can create a state of avoidance, because you can be really escapist when you are afraid to go down there and search for the things that may be uncomfortable to you. And also, Sagittarius can be really dogmatic. So in the lower vibration, because when they are in the highest vibration, they are really the light that lightens up the room. In my opinion, even brighter than Leo, if that is even possible. So you're either afraid of going into a direction of deep loneliness, and uh, feeling that you have nothing waiting for you there, or you're too conformed with the idea you have of yourself, where you lose the perception that we are always changing, we are always in constant need of transformation, and maybe you are being called upon a specific area of your life to make that transformation, to release, to let go. I feel this could have something to do with your daily life, with your issues surrounding security, money, work, health, where you look to achieve your idea of success and security and prosperity and abundance. And you may see turmoil happening in your daily life, in your routines, and that can create that state of anxiety. But also, it's from that that you create the awareness of the conditionings you still have. So the response to that nothingness card, for that fear, is moment to moment, which is beautiful. So the more you center yourself into the present moment, not wanting to go too far ahead, not wanting to remain behind in the past, you'll achieve much more ability to create this reality you're looking to, where it's a reality that is truthful to yourself. It's a reality that comes from the lion and not from the sheep. And the more you center yourself into the present moment, the more you'll see the potentials that are in this nothingness. So really, the response to your fear of flying, for that blockage, is to really observe, be observant of your daily life during the month of July. Acknowledge what is it in your daily life, your day to day, that you are losing sight of. And also, you can have a lot of inspiration on your daily life, in being right here and right now, in what you need to change, in what is healthy and what it's not healthy for you. So there's a lot of things going on, especially concerning your routines. Also, I don't know what I'm feeling, but the way you uh, nourish your body, the way you sleep or you don't sleep enough, the way you have your routines established in a healthy way to nourish your body, nourish yourself, your food, the food you put into your body, every single thing matters. So the intuition card is the creator. It's a card that can really have a strong connection with yourself because it's a fire card. It's the king of fire. It's the king of wands, and you're a fire sign. So there's a lot of resonance with yourself. And the intuition comes for the more you act, the more you are an entrepreneur of your own life, of your own desires, your primal instincts, like I was talking about. The more you see that you hold in your hands the power to create whatever you want, to be that lion showing up in front of the crowd, not being afraid to go in a different direction because it will be different, the more intuition you will receive. So for you this month, the awareness we are trying to come to will come through sources of action. So when you act, you will probably find a lot of awareness, inspiration, and ability to understand where this feeling of probably this feeling of attachments and being bound to something is coming from. So really be creative, be inspiring, go run out there, go do something physically active because that will help you really achieve an awareness about where you're needing to center yourself on. Also, because the response to this intuition is experience of existence, daily life again. So, in being that active, in being proactive about your own life and your own desires, you will again. It's another card that talks about the practical aspects of life, the day-to-day basis. So the more you will experience your daily life, the life that surrounds you in a complete new way. You will feel much more devoted to make it beautiful. You will feel much more devoted, you will feel much more graceful in just doing things that we constantly take for granted or think are just boring or normal. You will find a new source of joy in your daily life. You will find a new source of love into the little things, the little simple things that really can mean a lot and have a lot to say about ourselves. You'll be a projection. There'll be a projection outside from your inside where you'll experience. You'll be much more productive in whatever you're trying to accomplish. You'll find much more opportunities to success coming in your way because you are you are starting to be in a state of allowance, of allowing good things to come to you because again you're starting to be mindful and honest about the things and the issues you still have to work inside of you, and you will allow life to flow also in that direction where slowly you'll start to see real improvements starting with your grounded scenario, with your environment, with day-to-day basis. The relaxation and acceptance card is the miser reversed. So again, what you need to relax and accept this month is that there's the more you try to resist whatever is going on, the more you try to hold on to things, and that holding on in the sense of finding security in the wrong places, the more you fall into the trap of thinking that you need to have more to satisfy that hole inside of you asking for another type of nourishment, the more you'll see things lose. So in a daily sense, you can see money slipping away from your fingers and you can start to freak out because you have a lot of your idea of security projected on the money. But the answer here is the more you let go of things that are not really essential for you, the more you let go of ideas of possession, of tightness, of inflexibility, the more gifts you will receive, and more abundance, the real abundance that you are looking for, will come your way. So whatever you apparently lose in sense of things you own or you think you own this month, the more you're gaining, the more you're gaining. And I know this can be a hard thing to accept or relax about, because we live in a world that demands from us that we have money to live, right? But, or we have a certain standard of health or beauty or anything that we need to have, not be again. Uh, this can be hard to relax and accept about, because we are so deeply conditioned to living into this so overly lower vibration of resources that we easily feel anxious or afraid when we lose possessions. But you will see that the more you let go of this month, the more you will receive, and the more abundant you'll feel inside out, and the more happy and really relaxed. I feel like you need to relax. I'm feeling like you really, really need to take a break and just enjoy your day by day moments. Also because you end, or so all of this spread, all of these wings come to going with the flow, which is a beautiful card that really talks about letting go, letting yourself be completely okay by the undercurrents trying to guide you somewhere, even though you don't have the answer and you don't know where the final destination is. It's about you letting your emotions come to you and ride with them, not trying to control it again, not trying to resist it, not trying to win anything, or think you're going to lose. Just uh, forgetting all your conceptions, all your ideas about what you need to know. Also, this month is a really great month to check into what your real needs are. I think you really have that you can have a lot of awareness about where you have where you have been neglecting your real needs and inflicting um, worries and anxiety over needs that are really not yours. So you begin into the state of you come to this state of new awareness of just letting love, letting emotions, letting creativity, letting art, letting all of sublime, beautiful things be a part of your life, putting much more of relaxation and love into your daily life, receiving love, giving love in a much more unconditioned way and a healthy way. So the waters are maybe flooding, or you may feel in the beginning stage of the month. Probably you may feel like the waters are flooding your life and you are losing track of everything. But in the other half of that, because there's always a paradox and there's always this two-sided ways of looking at matters, this flood is washing away again everything that is not essential to you, everything that is keeping you from having a real state of love, self-love, and love towards others and life. You're beginning with your daily life in a much more healthy, conscious, and fulfilling way. This card talks about deep emotional fulfillment that just begins as a renewal of water. There's a renewal of emotions. So you can see how this can play out. You begin really conditioned, really feeling a slave or an addict to something, some aspect of your life, some track, and you begin to just slowly, this month for me, in my opinion, is about you taking things slow but intensely, because day by day it's where we create where we tend to create more tension, because it's day by day, so we have to follow, we have to be focused, we have to follow um, a consistency in order for that to work, and we start to see results, real results. And I think from the beginning of the month to the end of the month, you will have this beautiful realization that you have started something really great for yourself. So I hope you have a great month. Thank you for listening, liking, and subscribing. And hopefully we'll see each other next month.